hear the word Spanish, what's the first thing you would think of?
Many would immediately think of bullfighting, Dora the Explorer, the flamenco, Christianity, Spanish food, and Spanish señoritas. But would you ever think of the Arabs?
No, I guess you wouldn't. You'd immediately think of it as Christian and entirely European. And yes, that is partly true.
The Spain that we know today is part Roman and Arab. When the Romans arrived in Spain, then Hispania, at around 210 to 205 BC, the Romans brought with them their culture and moreover their languages.
These languages, which included Latin, Gallic-Portuguese, Asturian Leonese, Aragonese, Basque, Catalan, and Castilian, also served as markers that identified the start and end of the many kingdoms that then inhabited Hispania.
All these languages and kingdoms coexisted well until the coming of the Arab Moors in the early 8th century. The Arab conquest was successful as it conquered most of Hispania, sparing only the mountainous northwest. This was the time when the then largely Christian Hispania slowly became Muslim, and Hispania became known as Al-Andalus.
Here's a clip which shows more about the Arab influence in modern Spain.
Reminders of a different culture from a distant time. A time when Spain was called Al-Andalus. What's often forgotten is that for over 700 years, much of Spain was ruled by Muslims, and the south was its beating heart.
This Arab conquest brought with it not only a new religion, but also a new culture, and with that, a new language.
Yes, that's right. Many of the Spanish words we know today have been influenced by the Arab culture of Al-Andalus. Words like alcalde,
Alcohol,
alquiler,
arroz,
ataud,
azúcar,
máscara,
taza,
tarifa,
and guitarra.
But just like the Romans' stay in Hispania, the Arab stay did not last forever.
Following a great Muslim resurgence in the 12th century, the great Moorish strongholds in the south fell to Christian Spain in the 13th century, leaving only the Muslim enclave of Granada as a tributary state in the south.
This is all because of the efforts of the Reconquistas, who sought to bring the power back to Christian Hispania and out of the Arab Moors. The Reconquistas, through the unification of the crowns of Isabel de Castilla y León and Fernando de Aragon, laid the basis for modern Spain and the Spanish Empire. They have led Hispania, or Al-Andalus, out of the dark times with the Moors and into the Renaissance period.
As Renaissance new monarchs, Isabella and Ferdinand centralized royal power at the expense of local nobility, and the word España, whose root is the ancient name Hispania, began to be commonly used to designate the whole of the two kingdoms with their wide-ranging political, legal, religious, and military reforms. Spain emerged as the first world power.
As they drove away the Moors, they also expanded their kingdoms. And as seen here in these maps of Hispania, the Castilian Empire slowly but surely dominated Hispania, being the more widely spread of the Hispanic languages and being the language of prestige in most of Hispania. Castile became the modern Spanish known today.
According to Unamuno, language is the repository of the experience of a people and the sediment of their thinking. In the deep recesses of his metaphors, has left its traces to the collective spirit of the people. What does this mean? Well, it simply says that a language mirrors the experiences and history of its speakers.
Which means that given Spain's history of having many separate kingdoms,
speaking different languages,
it's going to be problematic to have just one Spanish language that would mirror the entire Spanish existence.
Because nations are just imagined communities. As stated by Benedict Anderson, the idea of a singular Spain becomes problematic when people start to refuse to identify themselves as part of the same culture, and worse, when they refuse to cooperate with the use of a singular language.
The case with Catalonia. Catalonia is a small part of Spain which refuses to identify itself as a part of Spain. It is continuously seeking autonomy and recognition as an entirely different nation on the basis of having a different language and by extension a different culture.
As seen in the history of Spain, it shows that language, just like culture, is something that is always passed on or through interactions of different races and culture.
As Spain shows, language can be the basis for political and social divide as well as political and social unity.
In this case, language has played a crucial role in identifying a nation as such.
This is called linguistic nationism.
It is the association of a language variety to the membership into a nation.
Welcome! Ang didiscuss ko ngayon ay ang French and linguistic purism. Ano ba ang linguistic purism? Tingnan natin ang French language. Sa English, computer. Sa French, ordinateur, email, courrier electronique, cellphone, telephone cellular, typewriter, machine à écrire, airplane, avion. Yung French kasi, siya yung naglalabas ng linguistic purism. Hindi siya basta-basta nagpapa-apekto sa ibang lengguwahe. I-compare natin ang French sa ibang Romance languages. For example, sa Latin, ang Deus, pagdating sa Italia, magiging Dio. Sa Spanish, Dios. Pagdating sa French, Dieu. God yung ibig sabihin niya. Sa Latin, cathedra, magiging sedia sa Italian. Sila, chess sa French, chair sa English. Yung aqua, ang Italian niya ay aqua, ang Spanish ay agua, at yung French ay o. French ang pinaka-evolve sa Romance languages. So parang siya talaga yung pinaka-kakaiba. Ang Académie Française ang sa mga institution na tinayo ng France para ma-preserve ang kanilang culture. And ang trabaho ng academy na ito ay to ensure yung purity ng French language. Sila yung gumagawa ng mismong salita, sa mga bagong salita tulad ng bagong scientific term, sila yung gumagawa ng panibagong term para hindi na nila kailangang manghiram ng bagong words. Ayaw kasi ng mga French na bigla-bigla nilang magkakaroon ng influence yung ibang lingwahe sa kanila. Gusto nilang maiba talaga. Kasi gusto nila maging pure. Para meron yung kind of racism sa kanila.